and welcome back to At the Table. This week we have a good bit of variety, and there's actually
some books for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're actually on time this week.
Yep, someone's not too worn out from mountain bike practice. We can actually talk comics on time. So stay tuned and let's talk comics.
Yeah, so welcome back to At the Table. I'm Jake.
And I'm Jason, father and son team back at the table talking comics.
Yep, and like we said, there's a good bit of books. There's actually some books for me, and it's just a pretty nice week.
Yeah, it's a bigger... You were kind of light last week and some of the other weeks, so I think you've got more to read than you have in a little bit. And since I stepped out and we got smart about things finally while you were at practice, I flipped over and we talked about what we needed to pick up. I think I got everything covered. And I showed up with the books, so you still get a carpool pick.
Yeah, okay. So this week's carpool pick, I don't know if this has been a carpool pick a lot. Probably once, at least. Daredevil, number 32. Daredevil has been phenomenal. Chip Zdarsky is really good on this book.
That's the first book by Chip that we read. One of the first that have gone... one of the first titles, if not the first, that went on our combined pool list.
Yeah, and this book, again, has been really good, and it left kind of on a cliffhanger last time. And you can start to see them dealing with Bullseye and all this stuff.
And I've actually read this too, and not only was last issue, I mean, it's comics, so there's going to be a lot of cliffhangers, let's be honest. But it was a big cliffhanger. Again, shocker. But there was a lot of action in this one, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And Elektra is definitely set up to be tested as to how much she can really stick to the promise that she made Matt, as far as kind of doing Daredevil his way, instead of basically just assassinating everyone like the assassin she is. So Bullseye features prominently in this one, and Matt is digging deeper into what's going on at the prison. So we're starting at the heart of making some good progress on both of the stories as they're running. Definitely a great read. Chip never disappoints with this book. So great carpool pick.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a carpool pick again. It just didn't feel right last week. So let's jump in and let's take a quick step back and look at our favorites from last week.
Yep, so this is probably not a shocker. This is the Extreme Carnage Fade number 1. This is, I believe, 3 or 4 in the Extreme Carnage. I don't quite remember. But anyway, this was a really good book. It's been really good. I love all the different stories and all the different symbiotes appearing. And it kind of continues the main storyline while also looking at it from a different character's perspective and view. And I really like this book.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that we don't have a Carnage symbiote book. I mean, we have a sort of symbiote book this week, but we don't have one of the Carnage symbiote books. It's been a good read. I did not get to Fades because I was busy reading other stuff, but the others that I've read, I've really enjoyed. So that's a solid favorite from last week. So
what's your pick?
It's a tough choice. It really, I think my favorites were like Radiant Black, Shadecraft, and Homesick Pilots. Right, I had all of those last week. All were really good, but Shadecraft hit it out of the park for me. It wraps up the first arc. It gave some resolution kind of to... I like to see stories come to some kind of meaningful resolution. I like it when it's kind of tied up fairly neatly. And we get that from the first arc. We resolve kind of a major problem. I don't want to go into spoilers because it is a great read. And it sets kind of a new tone for the future going forward. And there's some great moments in that book. Hands down, my favorite. The others were really good too. But Shadecraft has been an amazing read since the beginning.
So you want to get in with this week's picks?
Yeah, let's jump into it. We got a lot of good books to get through.
You can go first.
All right. I've really been enjoying this series. It seems like Cullen Bunn is on a tear. I've been enjoying a lot of his work. It seems like he's putting out at least one title a week. But I've liked this one since issue 1. That is Phantom of the Scan. And I will be honest, I read this while I was waiting for you to finish practice, so I'm a little ahead of the reading where I usually am at this point this week. Another great issue. I've actually managed to stay current on this one. And this book is following, for those who don't remember, this book is following a group of psychics that all kind of received a gift. This comet had come through town, I think on the night when a lot of these people were born, and they all had these abilities. The thing is, these people are starting to die out in horrible ways, so it seems like there's a cost every time they use their ability. There's the chance that they're going to be killed, and there's this creature kind of from another dimension or something. I'm not quite sure what's going on there yet. Is basically attacking them when they use their powers too much. So we get a little more backstory here. Not a lot. We're still trying to figure out what's going on, but this is definitely a book that keeps me reading. So I'm really enjoying it.
So, for my first pick, it is Daredevil Bill, number 5. This book has been phenomenal. I really hope there's another one going on with this, another series, because I believe this one is coming to an end. But he is such a likable character, and this story, this journey that he takes, has been really fun to read, and I really hope we get more of them.
And the supporting cast was great in this, everything from Pip to Scourge to Scuttlebutt. It was just a really great read, and fun in a way that is very different than the current Thor title. We both like that book, but man, I want some more Beta Ray Bill.
Yep.
So I would have challenged you for this pick. If you hadn't have picked it, it would have been absolutely on my list. This has been one of our favorite reads.
You want to go for your next pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Let's go with another shocker. I'm really liking Cullen Bunn stuff, and the last book you'll ever read. And I certainly got a vibe. I think there was a Lovecraft movie story, like the Mountains of Madness, Mouth of Madness. Anyway, we have an author here that's written a book basically about how society is breaking down, and it's actually it seems to be having an effect on people, making them violent, and crime is up, and lots of people are blaming her. And the author is just kind of, you see it early on with, it's not really, it's first few pages, she's attacked at a book signing, and it just kind of snowballs from there. Interesting concept. I like the book. It's definitely got a creepy vibe, and I'm in. I'm going to read this one. It's going on the permanent pull list.
So, next up, Symbiote Spider-Man Crossroads, number 1. So I will admit I read this. It was a really good book. I don't want to spoil it too much. Essentially, Peter keeps the suit, and he's partnered with Black Cat to help take care of a bunch of crime.
So is this a what if, or is it's just back in time while he still had the black suit?
I don't know.
I think the way that I thought it was working out, that it was kind of a prequel-y sort of thing. But either way, it's Peter with the black symbiote suit. It's not really a Venom book, but he's there in the background, so that's your symbiote fix for this week. And you really liked this title, the Symbiote Spider-Man run that we had during King in Black.
Yeah.
I think that was one of your favorite King in Black side stories, that and the Black Cat stuff. And basically here you have both of your favorite characters from those stories.
Yep.
Good pick. I'm looking forward to reading this one. So my final book, and since you took Daredevil, and you took Beta Ray Bill, I don't have a Marvel book in my top list this week.
You sort of do.
Kind of. I'm going to go with Teen Titans Academy number 5. We've made no secret that we're kind of jumping on the DC bandwagon with the new stuff, and this has been one of the first books that we've jumped in, and I've been enjoying it. I'll admit I was skeptical. I thought it was kind of a knockoff of like a Strange Academy sort of thing at the beginning, but it's definitely a different book on itself. Loving the mystery between as to who's behind the mask with Red X, and here we have the students kind of have been poking around trying to figure it out, and it sounds like they get a confrontation. Haven't read this one yet. It's probably going to be a book I read right after we're done this, because I'm really looking forward to this one.
Okay, so for my last pick, it is going to be, we've kind of already talked about this character, Black Cat number 8. The story has been amazing. We started her in King in Black, and the story has been amazing. And I've really been enjoying this book.
Yeah, and you seem to really like the stories where Peter Parker and Black Cat intersect. Mm-hmm. So I can see why you like the Symbiote Spider-Man stuff. And he's sort of been in and out once in a while in some of these other books with her. So fun character, and I'm surprised it's not necessarily one that I would have picked as one of your favorites, but you have consistently liked this book since the beginning. So there's the books that we're looking most forward to. We'll be sure to drop a comment in the notes below and let us know what books you're looking forward to this week.
Yep, variant time.
Variant time. It's not a huge stack, but we've got some pretty cool books. And you want to go ahead? We've got a bunch of we're continuing to pick up the Peach Momoko
anime covers.
Covers.
So let's start off with the Daredevil anime cover. This is a really good cover. I really like this cover.
Yeah, I gotta say again, there's none of these covers that I don't like.
Yeah.
They're actually all really solid this week. So there is the Daredevil.
Okay, so next up we have The Amazing Spider-Man number 71.
Which is a Gwen cover, another of Peach's anime covers. I think this is my favorite. I think you like the next one, maybe one of your favorites, but I think I really like this one.
This is the Shang-Chi anime variant, which I really like.
Yeah, he does look pretty badass in this, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And that's a character that we both didn't know a whole lot about until we started reading in recent months. So I'm stoked about the movie. We've both seen the trailer. I think we'll be there for it. I'm looking forward to it. Should be something different.
Okay, let's get in with some other variants. This is another Peach variant. This is Black Cat number 8.
I like this one. This one looks different than the others. It doesn't have that white background. It's
Yeah.
kind of inverse, and it's a slick cover.
Yeah.
So, and this one is one I picked up for you since you were at mountain bike practice. I needed to get at least one book that I think you would have liked. So that's the one that I picked out for you.
Symbiote Spider-Man Crossroads number 1. This, I'm guessing, is an incentive.
That's the 1 in 25 incentive, and I believe that is Del Mundo. It's the artist. I really like this cover.
I do too.
And it'd be a tough call between the Peach Gwen cover and this one for my favorite of the week.
Yeah.
So some solid, not a ton. We didn't go super deep on the variants this week. I think there was a cap, at least one, maybe two cap covers, but they didn't catch my eye, so I didn't grab them. So you want to get started with our normal haul now?
Yep. Okay, so first up, You Promised Me Darkness number 4.
Some reason I keep getting it, and I know I was really excited about this book, but it hasn't made the top of my list yet. And for some reason, I keep sort of confusing this with Phantom of the Scan. Both have a comet aspect of it. I think this is Haley's Comet. Both have people with powers, but different stories. And I'm looking forward to diving into this one. I need to catch up on it because somehow it slipped my radar.
Next up, Shadow Man number 4.
And surprise, another Colin Bunn title. I heard good things. I was interested in it. This is another one that is just, I have done a good job catching up. I unfortunately am behind on this one, but looking forward to it.
Shang-Chi number 3.
I'm enjoying this series. I like this character quite a bit. I don't know. I feel like you're a little behind in this one, but this is one I think you should get on, especially with some of the other Marvel titles phasing out. I think he's a pretty cool character, and he offers us something a little different than what we're reading otherwise. So, fun book. Looking forward to catching up on that one.
Next up, Parasomnia number 2.
I am actually current on this one, another Colin Bunn book. The first one was strange. We kind of we're jumping back and forth, and I can't tell if it's a fantasy world or different time periods, or I guess that's part of it, but part of the story follows this sort of homeless kind of dude who's in dire straits, and another half of the book, it looks like he's sort of some type of fantasy hero battling through this weird world looking for his son. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I'm digging the story and looking forward to how that unfolds.
The Modern Frankenstein number 4.
This is one that jumped on my pull list a while back. I read issue 1, and it wasn't exactly a bad comic or anything. I just got really busy with other stuff, but limited run, and you know how bad I am about taking stuff off the pull list. So I will finish it out and talk about it when I'm done, when I finally catch up.
Next up, The Old Guard, number 4 out of 6.
Yep, Tales Through Time. I think I've read the first couple of these. This is more of the Old Guard, but kind of a look back, and as I understand it, and it's kind of a prequel series telling about some of their adventures before the main Old Guard title. I need to catch up on that. The movie was really great, and that got me to read the comics, which I've enjoyed, so I need to catch up.
Next up, The Mighty Valkyries, number 4.
We enjoyed the Valkyries a lot in King and Black, and I'll admit that I've neglected this title. Have you read recently?
I'd like to say yes.
All right, we'll make that a priority. But they were so cool in King and Black that I was looking forward to seeing where they went.
Good Luck, number 2.
Boom book that this is the world where luck was basically a real stat, and a bunch of kids who were literally born without it are basically the only people that can fix some problem. The solicit was really cool. It's Boom. We love Boom. I was hoping for kind of another Seven Secrets-esque type of book. We love that book. It's one of our absolute favorites. Need to catch up on this. I sadly did not read number 1, but I'm going to read at least the first few issues.
Eternals, number 6.
Another one that we're a little behind on, but we've got an Eternals movie coming, and I thought that we needed to do our homework. So that's why we have it. It's on the pull list from what I've read of it. I've really enjoyed it, so we need to get back on that.
The Witcher, part 3 of 4.
Witch's Lament. I've been enjoying these Witcher comics as kind of I'm counting down the days until the Witcher series comes back on Netflix, and maybe I think I let you watch The Witcher, didn't I? Or at least some of it.
Yeah, but I wasn't really interested in it.
That makes me so sad. I love the video games, love the television show, and love the novels. I'm about halfway done the novels, so I'll take any Witcher that I can get. The comics have been pretty darn good.
Next up, Wonder Woman Black and Gold, number 2.
Yep, and I will admit that I haven't read number 1, and we are woefully behind on Wonder Woman in general since Future State. That's when we kind of fizzled out and got knocked off course, but we need to catch up with that soon. I'm hearing good things.
Spawn, number 320.
Another book that I have started to catch up on is Spawn. Spawn's one of my favorites from when I was your age. It got me into collecting, so it was one of the first books I put back on the pull list. I'm still pretty far behind, and it's been a little bit of a struggle to get back into that world, but I'm going to stick with it.
Wonder Woman 776.
Yep, like we just said, we are woefully behind in Wonder Woman, but we need to catch up because that was a really fun read. We really enjoyed it up until Future State.
Batman Detective Comics 1040.
And I am about 5 issues behind on the Detective Comics as well. But it's always I always enjoy it, and you and I need to sit down and we need to catch up on Spider-Man, and we need to have a catch-up weekend on Batman.
Yeah. Infinite Frontier, number 3 of 6.
Yep, I have read the first one, and I'm behind on 2. This is, I think we're laying the groundwork for what's to come in the DC universe in this series. So it's interesting. I love the kind of the way things are heading with like a multiverse, and there's a lot of moving pieces. I'm interested to see how that shakes out and what the future of DC looks like.
Skybound, number 4.
Yep, this is the weekly that's coming out celebrating Skybound. We've got 3 short stories this week, I believe. We've got Excellence, Sea Serpents, Air, Redneck, and Negan versus Rick Grimes 2000 in this one.
Berserker, number 4.
I am current on this one. They've done, I don't know how to feel about all the marketing and crazy prints and things that's going on with this book, but I like the story. It is definitely excessively violent. I would let you read it because I feel like you have a good handle on it. The violence is almost cartoony. It's so over the top in this book, but it's kept me interesting. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out, and then I'm looking forward to seeing with how violent a story this is. I'm interested to see what they do with this as a TV show.
So I can talk about this one actually a little bit. The Amazing Spider-Man number 71, part of the Sinister War. So I am current on the Sinister War stuff and a good bit of the Spider-Man too. There was a really good twist in the last one, and so far the Sinister War is actually pretty good. I'm gonna see how it turns out, and I'll keep reading it. But
so that was the point where you decided to finally jump back on the Spider-Man title.
Yep.
Is it worth moving to the top of my list, or just like wait and see?
I don't know quite how to feel about it yet. But I think the last one was good. If it keeps up in that pace and starts moving a little bit more, then yeah.
Okay. I would like to get caught up on Spidey and Batman, but definitely Spidey.
Next up, Robin number 4. You can talk about that one a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually current on this one. I really like Damian off on his own and kind of making a name for himself outside of, his role as Batman's son. It's definitely Damian. You probably either like him or you don't. I tend to like him in most cases. I like him best when he's in Super Sons.
Yeah.
But I've actually enjoyed this book. It's and we've got Ra's al Ghul entering the picture, who I believe we thought was dead in this current continuity, but makes an appearance, and that's bound to be some interesting times at the Lazarus tournament.
Next up, Black Knight, Curse of the Ebony Blade, number 5. I think I'm 1 issue behind on this book, but so far this book had been really good. I might not even be behind on it, but I would definitely pick it up. We started reading it, King in Black tie-in, and it was really good, and we've tried to keep current on it.
Yep, and I think he's going to show up in the Eternals movie, unless I'm mistaken. So I'm really interested to see how that shakes out, and so it's good to learn more about the character before then.
Cult of Dracula, number 5.
This is a weird book. It's been interesting enough that I've kept reading it, especially the first couple, but it trended definitely on the strange side. I don't know if this is the end. I think this is a limited. This is probably the end or approaching the end, so I'm going to stick with it to finish it out.
Black Widow, number 9.
This is a series that surprised me. We started reading at issue number 1, wanted to kind of prep for the Black Widow movie, which we still need to go out and see. I actually really want to see it in the theater. I'd rather see Marvel movies, superhero movies in the theater, so you and I need to make the time to do that sooner than later.
Star Wars: The High Republic, number 7.
And I think I've said this about some of these other books. These are not the best Star Wars stories, but
You need your Star Wars fix.
it's Star Wars, and I need my Star Wars fix, and I keep waiting for it to like really kick in and get better.
You just dropping this book when the second season of Mandalorian comes out.
Yeah, you know I won't, because I'm terrible about taking things off the pull list.
For our last book of the night, Department of Truth, number 11.
This book, I'm current on this. This book is weird in all the best ways. It has been interesting. I think you might actually like this book if you actually read it. The premise is definitely out there.
Mean?
What's that?
What's if you actually read it supposed to mean?
Well, a lot of times you don't take my recommendations.
You're not wrong.
But I think this is it's a different type of book, I think, than what you normally read. It definitely makes you think. I guess it's not getting any better the more I talk, is it?
No, it's getting better.
Okay. It's a good book. I think you would like it, long story short. I think Tinian is doing some very interesting things with this book. The whole idea that reality is basically shaped by the mass public opinion, or what people believe is reality, and then we're following this agency that deals with that and is constantly trying to stay out in front of it and make sure that the really bad stuff doesn't become reality. It's been and I think that's been optioned too, based on the art style and how crazy the story is. I can't wait to see how in the world they get this to TV. It's gonna be really interesting one way or another.
Yeah, so this week has been a really good week.
I thought that this pile was going to be light until I went into the shop, and I swear John's like just slipping books in our pull list sometimes. No, it's we really like to read. We've got a lot of books on the pile, and even when we're not current on it, we're collecting them to try to finish them.
Yeah.
So there are worse habits and hobbies to have for sure. So. Yeah, we've got, tell them about next week.
So next week is going to be a little special. We're not going to spoil anything. We've been looking forward to it, though.
Yeah, we've been counting down the days. We've also got some D&D content coming, and we've got actually a couple D&D things. Also want to talk about the new Magic set in a future video, because, that's sort of more D&D content.
Yeah.
So we'll be out and about doing some other videos, and as always, thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, like and subscribe.
Comment, tell us some stuff we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and especially comment any books that we might have missed.
Yeah, any books current, or if you think there's a great father-son read that we're missing, drop it in the comments and we'll read it and we'll talk about it in the future show.
Yeah.
But again, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.